Morning, Raptor Freak, Alexiats. It's Friday, baby. And you know what we do on Fridays on the Raptor Freak channel? We freak out, baby. And today I've got a Friday freak out that I feel really, really passionate about. This is one that I wanted to do for a couple years now, since the bubble in different ways, because I've seen this before and it's happening again. The ugliness is rearing its head all over the place on social media. You go to Twitter and you see the twit heads saying all this bullshit, saying all this stuff. You go on Facebook and you see all this bullshit going on and stuff in Facebook groups that are supposed to be Raptor fan groups, supposed to be Raptor fans and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you right now that some of these people are not Raptor fans, and they may self-identify as Raptor fans, but they're not truly Raptor fans because of the way they're acting. And some of them, I don't even think they are Raptor fans. That's what I want to talk about right now, because some of the noise that's being generated right now is coming from a nefarious place. And I want to tell you exactly how and why. Listen, what's happened is we've had some trouble with our main guys, our El Capitan, and our money man, Mr. Moneybag, Mr. $30 million a year, Mr. Pascal Siakam, and Mr. Fred VanVleet, our captain. And also our coach is getting bombarded in this way. And I want to talk about why this is happening. There's this couple different things that are happening. There's different categories. Now, we have a very cool, good category of somebody like Click 2 a.m. yesterday. And I am not making this video in response to anyone who was on my stream yesterday talking about this. This is something that's gone much further than this. I went further online in social media places to see exactly what people are saying about Pascal Siakam right now. And it disheartened me. It made me really sad. It made me really upset. And it made me want to fucking freak out on a Friday. And it's not you, Click 2 a.m. It's not the stuff we were talking about yesterday, because listen, you have very valid concerns and you put them forth in a very productive way where we could talk about it. And I can understand your opinions on him specifically, and they're warranted to a degree. But there's some other things that are happening right now that are way over the line. And this is what I want to talk about today. So anybody who's a regular viewer of this channel, this is not directed at you, Callie, for what you said about Fred VanVleet. This is not directed at you, Click, for what you said about Pascal. This is directed at other people that I've seen on social media since we did the stream yesterday. Now, listen, I know Twitter's a toxic place. Twitter's a really fucked up place. And sometimes I shouldn't click on hashtags and just read everything that everybody's saying about certain subjects. Well, I went and clicked that hashtag Siakam last night, and it was not pretty. And the things that I was hearing, and from, I can understand Philly fan digging in and saying all this crazy shit about him. That's fine. They can burn him. He's losing. They should be able to roast him and say Tobias Harris has shut him down and make all these crazy funny memes and stuff like that. They're allowed to. That's their fan base. But when I start seeing Raptor fans that are saying that they believe in the team and they trust the team, start talking about how they want to ship his ass out and all kinds of different ways like that, I'm like, no. No, you do not understand how this league works. You do not understand what it takes to grow the plant of an NBA player into who he becomes. And you are being so short-sighted. All you trade machine motherfuckers are out there right now putting his name and Fred VanVleet's name in there and trying to make a deal with Lakers to get Russell Westbrook. Fuck you guys. You are fucking stupid as fuck. When you start talking to me that you want to send two of our dedicated, most to the point with Toronto, they are the ones who are here for Toronto. They're real ones. You don't ship that out. You don't ship that out. When we made the decision to ship DeMar DeRozan out, that was very cold and calculated, and it was not taken lightly. So you do not take lightly the idea of shipping people like Pascal and Siakam and Fred VanVleet to other teams, especially for a knucklehead like Russell Westbrook. So none of this shit. I'm sick of it. Y'all stop with your trade machines and you're talking about how you want to trade him for this person, that person. Realize what you got in your hand is way worth more than the unknown of what you think you might get. Because what you might get is way worse. I'm telling you right now. And everybody's saying, oh, well, they do this. They can't do this in the playoffs. They're not good playoff performers. This is the same shit that people said about Kyle and DeMar for years, that these guys could not play in the playoffs. This is the same fucking shit. It's the same thing all over again. It's just that our society has gotten to the point where it's a different kind of place than even then. We have more social media. We have more social forces out there. And there's a lot of information wars going on in different places, whether it's with politics, with Trump bots out there, trumpeting Trump shit. And they're not even real people half the time. You guys know that there's bot farms out there that are making up comments, they go into places, they join groups, and they're programmed to make this fucking argument for some people. In fact, recently it was found out that Tony Khan, owner of AEW, the wrestling league, has employed a bot farm. This has all come out, and this is actually true. We have come out and found out this information that there's an army of bots that are going into wrestling groups on Facebook and fighting the fight of perception about his company. Yeah, they're going in and they're arguing with any person that argues against AEW and what it is and stuff like that. People who have money can pay to have bot farms come out and try and shape perception in this world. It's happening with the war in Ukraine. Putin has Russian bots that are coming in all over Facebook, all over Twitter, and they're professing and saying the things that he wants them to say to help shape the way we see the world. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's that kind of shit in the NBA also. There are bots out there that are being put out there for different things. And you'll be like, well, why the fuck would they care? It's just basketball. It's just the NBA. It's just Pascal Siakam. Well, I'm going to tell you why they care. Because the first thing I'm going to say right now, and I'll show it to you in a really good example right now, is listen, all it takes is some bots that want to come into a Raptor fan group and start talking shit about Nick Nurse. Like, oh, Nick Nurse isn't doing this. Nick Nurse isn't doing that. And you guys should fire him. Well, who the fuck would start trying to say that? Let me think. Maybe it was the 2 weeks ago, all these motherfuckers writing articles about how Nick Nurse should be the coach of the LA Lakers. Maybe that's what it is. And we need to come in, and we're on social media and we see opinions put out. We need to look at them objectively and understand where the source might be coming from. That there may be some rich guy in LA that's fucking putting it all out there, trying to make it mistrust with Nick Nurse so that maybe we get a steam in our fan base to say, let's fire Nick Nurse. And then boom, all of a sudden Nick Nurse is available for the Lakers. So you guys need to understand what these forces are doing. And on the same way that they may be saying, oh, you guys should fire Nick Nurse, and they get that whole inertia going in our fan base, maybe they're doing the same shit about Pascal and Fred because secretly they want to get them on their teams also. And y'all need to think about that. This is true. There's an information war out there with bots. AEW's paying bots to come out there and talk AEW up and shape opinion. Well, there's people that are putting tweets and doing all kinds of shit on Facebook that's doing the same thing. And that's what's happening with our fan base to a degree. They see us in a weakened state because we're down 3-0 to Philadelphia, and they want to come in and cause dissension. They want to come in and wreck good things that are happening for us. We need to stay the course. We need to continue with what we have right now because this season has been so successful. This has been an amazing season. This has not been a failure. Nothing that is happening right now in this series with Philadelphia is a failure. And anybody who thinks that this has been a failure because we're down 3-0 to Philadelphia, you're fucking stupid. Because listen, we weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs. This is the thing. Philadelphia is a real championship contender. We are not. And this is exactly how this is supposed to go. So you don't fucking chicken little and say, we got to get rid of Pascal and Fred because they're not showing up in the playoffs. Because I'm telling you right now, these guys are going to get to that level someday. And it'd be a damn shame if we gave up on them the year before they did get to that level. And then all of a sudden they're going for Larry O'B with Chicago or something like that. That's what I'm saying, y'all. We cannot be short-sighted. We need to understand and we need to let it ride. And ultimately, one of the number one tenet of the Raptor Freak code is trust in Masai. And Masai and Bobby know way better than any of us the best way for what the Raptors are going to do. And so every single person that's crying out to trade this person, trade that person, fire this coach, just stop. Because it's unnecessary noise. It's really unnecessary. Let's just support our guys. Let's talk about what they did good this year. I mean, the picture that I used for this stream is Pascal literally bleeding out the side of his head for this team. Anybody who questions whether this man is dedicated to this team or wants good things for this team, you are wrong. You need to not question this. This man is for real. He's doing it for us. We have to realize that there's a passion inside of him to succeed that's beyond way average person, that he is not an average person. He is somebody who has a deep desire to succeed because he's gone so far in his life with achievement that there's a part of him that is doing this for his father that passed. And that is a very powerful motivator. And that is the kind of person you want on your team. That's someone that's dedicating their life's work to somebody that they love that is gone. That is inspiring in itself. There's so many things about Pascal Siakam that is good for good character. He's a good teammate. He's a good dude in all kinds of different ways. Why would you want to run somebody like that out of your organization? Yeah, so you think, oh, he's not a true superstar. I don't disagree with that. That in fact, he is a superstar into a certain degree, but he's not maybe a number one guy. I can get behind that argument because it has been proven to a degree with what's been happening. But you don't throw something like that away because that's a great building block. And it may be, like we said yesterday, that someone emerges as the number one to stand next to him and take more of that number one superstar duty off his shoulders. And that's what I'm saying. Listen, that we can't turn on our guys right now. There's no point to it. We have been so badass this year. We have been so successful this year. Raptors Nation, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are y'all coming down on these people? Realize that maybe it's Laker fan that's getting us to influence us to maybe want to fire our coach because they want our coach. Maybe it's fucking Charlotte Hornet fan that wants us to get rid of Pascal and maybe make a shitty trade to them to get Pascal out of here. That's what I'm saying, y'all. We've got the guys we want. Trust me. I trust in Masai, I trust in Bobby, and they wouldn't sign these long-term contracts with these people if they didn't think that these were the right people to ride with. And it may be that playoffs are a different story in some ways for them as far as the level of their game at certain points. But like I said yesterday, they're getting keyed on, they're getting stopped and stymied. They're the focal point of the defensive plan for the Philadelphia 76ers. And that, that's going to happen to a certain degree. There will be a drop off in production when that defensive intensity goes to the playoff level. Oh my gosh. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. I'm not going to be on long today because I do have things I got to do, but we'll talk a little bit here. All right, let's see. All right, Tom Duke and I were talking before. That's fine. We already talked all this stuff. Let's see. Random gamers here, Philly fans here. First of all, he's saying, I like Pascal. People just have to realize that he isn't a number one, obviously, but he's a really good second or third option on a championship team. Exactly. And we need to allow other guys on our team to possibly grow up into that number one role next to him. Pascal has no ego in this, which is another beautiful thing about him. If somebody else steps up and becomes more the man than him, he will not have a problem with this. He just wants to win. And that is the thing that is the only important thing that I care about, that he's working hard and he wants to win. But he has no ego in this. If he ends up being the second banana to somebody in the next 2 years, I'm here for it. And he will be too, because he just, it's not that he's lazy and he doesn't want to do it himself. It's just that, like we've said, there is a certain ceiling for each player in their development and what their possibility of being is. And this man is way over his ceiling where he should have been with where he was picked and what he had to do and what he's done already. This man has already achieved stuff. And in some ways, every single person from that championship year needs to be patched onto our team as a made man. There's been nefarious forces out there in the NBA that have tried to pull every single championship player off our championship team off of our team over the years. We've lost 2 every offseason. We lost Kawhi and Danny right away after the first offseason. We lost Serge and Mark the next year. When we lost Kyle and Norman last year. Now you guys want to fucking lose Pascal and Fred, the last 2 fucking big pieces from our championship year? You're fucking stupid. No, we do not lose the links to our championship. All 4 of our champions that are still on our team are so important and integral. We need to re-sign Chris Boucher this summer. We need to value people like OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet, and Pascal Siakam because they have the fucking roadmap that got to the championship. And I'm sick of hearing our fans do this to these guys when they fail. Listen, yeah, they're failing. We're losing to Philly. But this is what's supposed to happen for right now. It's meant to be. And it was not meant to be that we were going to go all the way. It's not going to happen. So listen, we need to just keep going in the right way, which is positive growth. And if we lose those guys, I'm going to tell you right now, we are going to lose more than you think. There's so much intangibles that are involved with these guys. And that's why I'm sick of this talk. It's unnecessary, it's toxic, and it's actually helping certain entities that may want them. Like somebody wants to pry Fred VanVleet loose and have them running their team because they know that it would be an upgrade for them. Somebody wants Pascal Siakam on their team. So maybe they put that crowbar in there a little bit in the Raptors fan nation and pries it a little further open. So people are like, public perception is we need to get rid of Pascal. Fuck that shit. We do not. That is the last fucking thing we need to do. And I'm sick of hearing it over the last 24 hours. I'm not here for this. This is for positive Raptor fans, and we're not going to do this. And I know y'all are good, and we're not going to do this. Oh, yeah. All right, let's keep going. Callie's saying, oh, my God, those fans do this every time. Wonder if they're trashing KD and Kyrie. I know, Callie. Like, they probably are to a degree. But, I don't care what's going on with Nets fans and their toxicity. It could be off the charts. Like, this happens in every fan nation. You can ask Sixers fan. There's a certain level of this in every single fan nation. And that's part of the thing is I want to combat it. This is part of why we have this channel. This is positive. We support the Raptors. We don't tear them down. We don't say we want their bags packed and get the fuck out of town. None of this shit. We are here for them. And I love you, Callie. I appreciate you. Fan Chunk saying there's no sound. There's no sound. Okay, maybe it's just a setting you had. I think everything's good. Tom saying sound is good. Just reboot YouTube or something. I've stopped watching so many YouTubers because of their toxic attitude when things go south. Yes. Like I can understand if you're a reporter, like if you're Michael Grange or if you're Josh Lewenberg or you're Doug Smith, you can write critical pieces about what's wrong with the team and stuff like that from a knowledgeable place. In fact, I want to say to everybody right now who feels a certain way about Pascal, go read the piece that Michael Grange has written about him in the last couple of weeks, about his journey since the bubble, and understand more deeply why Pascal is who he is and what he's all about. Because if you read that piece by Michael Grange from Sportsnet about Pascal, you will find out more about him and understand what makes him tick. And you will realize that this is somebody that you want to have on your team and stuff like that. But yeah, it's so crazy. Like, I can understand guys like Raptors Digest or like Luca or different people that make stuff, Locked On Raptors, the Raptors Republic people, they're going to be negative to a certain extent in certain ways. And I don't agree with that. In fact, that's why, big reason why I made this channel is because we're going to be ride or die positive Raptor fans no matter what's fucking going on. We could be a 19-win season, and I'd still toot their horn and point a light to the positive things that are going to happen for us in the future. That is just my purpose and what I'm going to do on this YouTube channel. And I know I'm the same person, Tom. I've watched certain channels for years, and then all of a sudden I'll see a piece and I'll be like, that's not totally fair. And is this productive or really like worth listening to? Is just somebody just espousing their opinions and maybe they're just too negative? They're too negative is what I'm saying. Yeah. All right. Fan Chun's all good now. That's good. Glad to hear that. Callie's saying on the plus side, I've seen a lot of people thinking we can come back and make it a series. I know Tom's in here already. The first comment he put up is 1 and 143, that we will be the 144th team that is looking at 0-3 deficit and will overcome it. And the other thing is all the jokes are also that if anybody's going to give up an 0-3 lead, it would be Doc Rivers, is what people are saying and stuff like that. But yeah, I love seeing all that too, Callie. I mean, yeah, let's talk about positive things too. I love the belief that our fan nation has to a degree. A certain percentage of our fan nation is maybe delusional, but I love it. I'm so with them. And we start tomorrow. We got to get it tomorrow. That's the only way we can, is we got to make sure we win tomorrow at 2:00. Oh yeah. And tomorrow the preview will be a hype up preview with all the regular stuff, but also me really going off on how we got to win. And I'll do that William Wallace speech tomorrow. Jeff Schisler's here. Good to see another new name, Jeff. Good to see you. The only reason we're down 3-0 is because injuries. I completely agree with this. If we had our full complement, if we didn't know that Gary was absolutely sick with 102 degree temperature and losing 8 pounds and all this kind of stuff, we needed a real Gary Trent. And we needed our guys not to get hurt in the first game in some ways and not be missing. Like that has been completely useless since the injury. Scotty has not even played. This is true. Like when we have our full team, we're really good. And part of it is that we have such good quality starters, but our bench is not good. And that when we lose like two of our starters, we're in big trouble because we have a very, very paper thin quality depth on our team. And Jeff is exactly right. This could have been a whole different series if we had better luck in that department specifically. Lumpy's saying, I'm praying that Pascal sees a vision that inspires him to play great. I do too. I mean, he's got to be motivated for tomorrow. Listen, he's probably hearing a bit of the noise that's going on since the last game about him and Fred's failings in the playoffs. And he wants to change that narrative. He wants to change that perception. Trust me. If anybody in this world wants to change it, is Pascal Siakam. And hopefully he'll get some good work in tomorrow to prove and change that perception about him in the postseason. I hope so. I really, really do. It's a golden opportunity for him. And he really, really, I really want him to do it. But even if he fails, even if he continues to do exactly what he's done so far, I will still support him the same way. And it doesn't matter to me. Because like we said, Jeff has said it just right here. The injuries have been a factor. There's all kinds of different things that have been a factor in this series. Philadelphia got the jump on us, and we're already digging out of a big hole. And that's just the facts of what's happened and transpired in the last week. And that's too bad. But yeah, I'm really praying and hoping that he has a good game tomorrow too, Lumpy. And I do believe in him. Callie's saying Pascal has improved so much this season. He will continue to get better. That's what I'm saying. Callie knows it too, is that Pascal has shown an improvement every single year. Like I said, some guys get that money bag and they don't work on their game. They're just rest on their laurels. They're just like, I'm who I am. You guys are paying me already. That's fine. So I'll just do what I do. No, this man is working hard still. He's working hard every single day. He's doing a lot of stuff to continue to get better as a player. And some guys that make his money do not do that. And we need to value that in itself also. I mean, look at it. He's a character guy. He has desire. He's an all-around talent. He may not be a number one guy, but he's an all-around talent. He's all these other things. He's worth the money, and he's worth having around. This is the thing that, people think there's a quick fix to everything. There's never a quick fix to anything. And you can tell in the way that NBA teams treat it like that they think they can have a quick fix. Oh, Russell Westbrook's going to solve everything. Oh, Ben Simmons just solve everything. No, quick fixes don't work in the NBA. You have to have an established platform and nucleus that you've been working with for a couple of years to actually get to championship kind of thing. You have to have a core and a nucleus that you believe in and you've developed and worked as itself, just like you would develop an individual player. And that is something that you don't give up on. You don't switch in and out too much. You got to be really smart and calculating with how you do it, like a Jonas for a Marc Gasol kind of move. That's what I'm saying. And until Pascal Siakam is in an actual trade that Bobby Webster signed a contract or did on himself, I'm not going to fucking listen to any trades or worry about any trades, because I would trust in Bobby and Masai that the deal will be made if it needs to be made at any point in time. And that all the hot air and the trade machine talk, the different content people are going to make in the next few months and weeks is just fucking cosplay, fucking fan fiction. That you motherfuckers might as well write about how you seen Monica making out with Joey at the fucking second cup or whatever the fuck they fucking hang out with their fucking stupid ass show. And then they did it that night. That you wrote fan fiction about how you wanted the friends to have sex with each other. It's the same fucking shit. When you put names in a trade machine online and he's like, ooh, Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet for Russell Westbrook and Malik Monk. Ooh, you're fucking fan fiction nerds. You are not doing anything that is worthwhile or even grounded in reality, because sometimes these contracts just don't line up, even though the machine tells you. So I'm just saying, trade machine people, I hate them the most, honestly, because they think that they realistically are solving the problems like they're fucking genius. No, you're just some fucking kid who's on your computer inputting stuff and you get it. Oh, it works, it matches. Oh, they should do this. I've solved everything. You haven't fucking solved shit because you don't know what the GMs in the NBA have to fucking do to make deals. This so pisses me off. I'm sorry. You're really getting a good freak out today. I'm telling you right now. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Let's get back on track here. Lumpy's saying if we get Pascal, Scotty, and Precious as our front court, we can win as long as the officials are good. I believe in this. Like, we have so much of a upside on so many of our young players right now. Let them grow into their potentials alongside people like Fred and Pascal, who are great leaders and people to guide them. Like, listen, if you want somebody to teach a work ethic to a young player, you want the guy who learned his work ethic from Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. That is Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam. They saw how they did it before them, and they are part of the passing it through, passing it down. That this passes right on down to Scotty Barnes. This passes right on down to Malachi Flynn. This passes right on down to Precious Achiuwa. You need these good role models on your team. And if they're not dysfunctional, if they're not negative, if they're not tearing down the team in different ways, then I say keep them, because you want to keep what works. If they're a bad person on the team, yeah, I said get them the fuck out. But this is not the case in this situation. This is just some people that are mad because we've lost and they want to blame someone. And I'm sick of it. Stop pointing fingers. There's nobody to point fingers at for this season. Only thing you should be doing is giving flowers and roses to the people who have excelled and done great things this year. And the guys that I've named in this, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Nick Nurse, they all deserve flowers for what they've accomplished this year. They do not deserve derision and talk that they should be fucking out of here. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep fighting on this. I will fight this every single fucking day. I'm serious. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Tom Duke saying Scotty is Pascal's Batman. Just a little bit of patience to finish the building. Masai's changing Toronto into Gotham City. Masai's not blowing this team up. I love this. I love this, Tom. I love the illusions of like, yeah, maybe Scotty is the number one. Like he might come up and be that number one. He could do it. Like honestly, the way he's shown dominance in the low post, the way he has an all-around game, the way he has a winning attitude, we'll have to see if it's in the cards in his character. And I'd love for him to rise up and be that number one. And Pascal will be his number two next to him. And take, because Pascal, it truly is true. Pascal is better when he's not the focal point for the other team. He can be more sneaky. He can get more done. We saw it in the 2019 run when he was second banana next to Kawhi, and it works that well. And that's not a slight on Pascal Siakam. Listen, y'all, just because he can't be the ultimate best. This man, like I said yesterday, was a G League player, and now he's all NBA. So listen, that is a huge jump. And that is an incredible accomplishment for anyone in this world. Like NBA players dream to do what Pascal Siakam has done in this league as far as what he's done. He's been a G League champion, a G League MVP. He's gone into the NBA and he's gotten an NBA championship. And he's now most improved player. He's an all-star. And he's going to be an all-NBA player again this year. Two-time all-NBA player. Give this man his respect. And consider where he's come from and how much he's grown and become way bigger than what he ever should have been. And that's why we need to love him and respect him and support him and want him here in Toronto. That's what I'm saying to every single Raptor fan out there this morning. Oh, yeah. All right, let's keep going. Callie's saying, look how close we were in game 3 without Scotty. I know. It's like Scotty's watching from the bench. He's like, man, if I had been out there, I would have got that rebound. Or, man, if I'd been out there, I would have stopped Tobias Harris at that moment. You know, stuff like that. I'm sure it's like woulda, coulda, shoulda. But let's see. He's going to suit up tomorrow, and hopefully he will be a big factor in helping us win game 4 for sure. Oh, yeah. And Callie's saying it's coach's job to draw up better plays for Pascal. Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. I really think Nick Nurse could help Pascal with his issues, with how people are hating on him and stuff like that. And like I said, I feel like Nick's being lazy with his coaching on the offensive end, that he's just letting them kind of do like isolation, one-on-one kind of shit, where I want to see real plays next year, Nick. I want to see you give a playbook to Fred VanVleet. And even if he's calling it on the court and stuff like that, and you're not necessarily directing it all the time, at least you're giving him the tools to call plays where all the guys are organized and they know how to work in synchronization to allow for the highest percentage shot, a very easy shot, because that's not what we're getting. We're not working towards easy shots. We're making our guys work so hard to get open and get high percentage shots. And even then, when they're not getting high percentage shots a lot of the time because it's not happening, because they're not able to beat them in ISO one-on-one kind of shit. So that's what, yeah, I love that, Callie. I feel like Nick needs to do that. And once again, because I'm saying this about Nick Nurse doesn't mean I want to fire him. This means I really respect and love him. And I think he's a great coach. And I think he can make these adjustments and that he can build on the foundations of this year even more in a better way for our offense next year. And that's what I'm calling out for. Tom Duke saying, haha, friends update for the trade machine fans. 1 and 143, ride or die. Never a quick fix. Never a quick fix. Never a quick fix. Tom likes me running down the trade machine, people. It's awesome. Marlon Toby saying, morning, guys. This year is a success. We came and to what we have and got better. Yeah. Kevin Durant, who's the best scorer, is also struggling. This is what we're saying. You know, people go through ups and downs in the NBA. You know, it's not always perfect and peachy keen all the time. We have to ride with them, ride or die. And I really, really, truly believe like that. Okay, let me see. I know I'm not that far ahead. Pitto's here. Good to see Pitto. I hope your brother's not here. No, just kidding. Loving the freak out segment. I'm requesting for one a day. Pitto, you're awesome, man. No, this is going to be the Friday thing this summer. I will be freaking out every Friday during the offseason about some sort of subject in Raptors world that's pissing me off. And today it's the Pascal hate. And that's what we're doing today. But you like it, man. You like when I go off. See, listen, I'm a big wrestling fan. I've listened to Macho Man. I've listened to Hulk Hogan. I've listened to all these greats go off on the mic. And that is truly where I get my inspiration and a lot of my chops is just by going off like a wrestler would. Oh, yeah. Alistair's saying Pascal needs Scotty to take the focus off of him. Kawhi was better, but had less than him. And Alistair saying, we're going to a championship this year. Prove me wrong. Alistair still believing. Listen, I love this, guys. I love this. I have to be a little bit realistic just because I'm, the main on the channel, like talking this, but I love everybody in the comments saying we do not give in. We are going to win still, that we can still win a championship. And I appreciate that. All right, good. All right. I see a wrench has already been thrown. That's fantastic. Thank you, Raymond Jacob. Raymond Jacob's getting a wrench. Right, wrench point right there. Boom, wrench point for Raymond Jacob today. Marlon Toby's here. We did well to reach the 5th seed. A championship is not won overnight. Philly was frustrating the process for like 10 years now. Stop the hate. It's such a process, and it takes a long time. It's not like a microwave dinner. You can put it in there in 5 minutes, is ready. This is something that we have to build a core that can possibly win a championship every year. And that possibility is not always there because of injuries, because of different things that happen through the course. That's why there's luck, skill, and health involved in winning championships. You have to have all three. And this year we don't have the health all of a sudden. And that means that our luck wasn't that good either, too. So that's just how it is. And next year, hopefully we'll have everything line up just right. And boom, there's the second Larry O'Brien. But you guys have not given up on this year. Alistair has not. And I appreciate that because we are not dead. We still got a heartbeat. And we're not dead. We're a zombie that's beat up in the corner, but we're about to do this. Just rise up and come at them still. And hopefully, we can build off of a Game 4 victory tomorrow and get some inertia into a Game 5 and make this extend this series as far as we can. That's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, I love it. Alistair saying when Scotty comes back, it's over. We win 4 straight. That would be badass. And I love that thinking, and I want to believe. I'm like that. I want to believe. I am with you. Callie's saying that would be a dream come true. I agree with that. Pito's saying they're all doing great. They all stepped up this season. Look at Trent. Look at Precious. Look at Fred. Look at Pascal. Look at Barnes. Come on. Let's go Raptors. Exactly right. This is what we should be doing. We should be celebrating them. We should be celebrating that Pascal came back successfully from his injury this year and proved that he could still play at an all NBA level. That is huge because he could have came back and he could have been a little bit washed. But no, he came back stronger and better than ever. And we need to open our eyes and realize the reality of what Pascal Siakam's accomplished this year and stop bagging on him right now. Oh, my gosh. Seymour saying most, if not all, the people hating on the Raps ain't real Raps fans. Enough said. Let's get back on track and get a playoff win. Oh, yeah, we the North. I really agree with this, Seymour. Like, people can root for the Raptors or they can be the team. But once again, we have sports fans in this city that are very cynical. They may be predominantly a Leaf fan or a Jays fan or an Argos fan or something like that, and that they have a certain kind of cynicism and pessimism that is just enwrapped in their sports fandom in general. And that is what happens is this is Toronto sports fan acting out after failure and trying to play the blame game. And I'm sick of this shit. You fucking can do that with the Leafs all you want. I don't give a shit. You point the blame game. You fucking make that a toxic fucking fan base all you want. But you ain't fucking doing that with the Raptors. No, you ain't. Not anymore. Not with the Raptor Freak called around. Because we're going to set y'all straight. And we're going to be that voice of positivity that I'm hearing from all of my favorites here today. They have not given up. They do not think that we are going out tomorrow. We are going to continue to play in the playoffs. And they also love and support our team unconditionally, unless there's a knucklehead who's really destroying our team from the inside. Then we'll turn on them. But otherwise, everybody's good right now. Everything's functional. Everything's great. There's no reason to get down on this team for any reason. I'm telling them right now, oh my gosh, Pito, you are so right. And I agree with Seymour also that these people aren't necessarily truly in their heart Raptor fans, that they're sports fans and they want Toronto sports teams to win. But when they don't, they turn their back on them and they slander them. And I'm sick of it. I'm not here for that. You got to be a real one and with them through all the bad and the good. Oh, yeah. Callie saying, I'm selfishly not wanting season to be over. Let's get the win tomorrow. That is not selfish, Callie. That is a real fan. And I'm as selfish as you are. I want to have so many more games. I want Scotty to get some playoff experience. I want Delano to get some playoff experience. I want Precious to get more playoff experience. And that's not selfish. We want this for our young players to have more time on the court in the postseason because it's going to really work well for them in the long term. Seymour saying, did you see Matt Kiapis win the one-on-one versus one House of Hoops tournament for $50,000? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Tom, dude. Somebody won a one-on-one basketball tournament and they won $50,000. Kudos to them. Bravo, bravo. And he must be Canadian because you gave him a maple leaf. That's pretty cool. Fan Chunk saying, let's make history. Raptors in 7. If anybody's going to do it, it would be our franchise and our crazy ability to be in with our backs against the wall, coming back out, pushing and making good things happen. Like we said at the beginning of the series, that it's when teams bust the other team open. Well, so far, Philly's busted us open a couple games in a row. And then in the third game, they came back and stole one. Well, if we bust things open tomorrow and break their system of what they've been trying to play against us, and we find some really good advantage, we could keep doing that and they can't figure out how to stop it. Boom, that's how you win 4 games in a row, and you end up coming back and winning a series you weren't supposed to win. And that is really how it's going to have to happen, is we're going to fundamentally have to figure out something that busts their system, whether it's on their defense or stopping them on offense. And then all of a sudden, boom, that's how it will happen. And hopefully that is what happened. I'm hoping for it, but we got to be realistic also. One game at a time. Tomorrow for sure. Protect our court and win at 2:00 tomorrow afternoon. Oh, yeah. Family saying Pascal is an amazing player. All these people will be crying when he's on another team, dropping 30 a night. I know. Listen, he's in good faith. Like I said, in the history of the Raptors franchise, we've had so many not real players play for us. People that would turn their backs on us in a heartbeat, like Chris Boucher and stuff like that. When we find guys that are willing to sign the dotted line with us for long term and they're committed to trying to help us win, we need to honor them and celebrate them and be very thankful for them. Because for many years in the Toronto Raptors franchise, we could not get players like this that would dedicate themselves to the Raptors, like Fred, like Kyle, like Pascal, like DeMar. And that's the thing. These guys are like that. And we want them to be like that and continue to be like that. Keep these guys around because they influence younger guys like Scotty and Precious to want to be like them also. And that's what I'm saying. It's a very good functional thing. It's a good, healthy thing to have players that are dedicated to your team and want them to win. And that is not easy to get sometimes. Sometimes you get a player that's really talented, but they don't give a shit. They just want the money. They just want to play in the NBA for the fame and stuff. That is not who our guys are. Our guys are really, really trying, and they're not resting on their laurels. And we really need to realize that. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Family saying start with one, go from there. I love it. That's the right attitude. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And family saying, really, who are you going to trade? What are you going to get back for him? I know. What are you going to get back? And I can tell you exactly why that other person, Russell Westbrook, is a non-starter with me. There's nobody on the Lakers that I want to get and put on our team right now. There's nobody. Don't you start fucking talking about Anthony Davis. We don't want nothing to do with his broken ass. Telling you right now, and Russell Westbrook is washed. He's not worth the money that's on his contract right now. He would be the worst albatross ever. At least with a payment that we're paying Pascal Siakam, we're getting a lot back for it. Listen, he's worth his contract. And you can trade that contract for another big contract like that, and you'll get a guy that's not worth his contract. And then I'll be like, I fucking hate you, you toxic Raptor fans who chased Pascal out of town, and all of a sudden we've got this bum in his place. So think about it that way, Raptor fan. Come and listen to me rant right now this morning and think about it that way. You get what you want, and then you get us a fucking bum on our team. We're going to blame your asses for fucking trying to force a trade with your stupid shit. Oh, yeah. That's what I got to say about that. 143. 143 have failed before us. One, we'll get through, and that will be the Toronto Raptors. Woo, oh, please. Oh, I'm praying and hoping. And let's start it tomorrow with one first. Oh, yeah. Callie's saying Scotty has never had to sit and watch. He will be super motivated tomorrow. I really believe this. Like, Callie, you're right. Sometimes you feel helpless when you can't play because you're hurt. And you really get some weird motivation because you really want to make sure you can do an impact on the series. Like, he may be seeing where we're at with an 0-3 deficit. He's like, man, if I could have been in game 2 and 3, I could have helped them put them over the hump and make this series different. So I need to do even more when I do get out there finally for game 4. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And I think Callie's seen it too. Flowery and DeRoses is here again. I love your name. Your name is so awesome, and I missed you. I'm glad you're back. It's easy to be positive in a safe space you've created that kicks out differing opinions. Why negativity towards the fan base? The only Raptors who don't change over time. I'm out. Listen, I'm negative towards the fan base when it's toxic, and it's not necessary, Flowery. It is not necessary. Your name is very apropos for how I feel about things, and I don't understand that. Yeah, we do kick people out. We kick out toxic Sixer fans who come in here, but we do not kick out Raptor fan. If Raptor fan wants to come in here and be toxic, well, I'll listen to them at least, but I will probably kick them out too. And that's the thing. It's like, listen, this is a safe space, yes, in this to a degree, because we need this space. There's so much toxicity in stupid ass places and stuff like that, and we're sick of it. We're real fans that want to hear the real deal and the good stuff. We don't tune out all the negativity. It's just we see it in other places, and this is the place we don't want it. And I mean, listen, if you want to be out, I can't control that. That's up to you. But this is where we're at with this, and I'm sick of this toxic Raptor fan. If that's hitting a chord in your heart in some ways, well, maybe you need to search your heart about how you're rooting for this team. Is what I'm saying. If I'm offending you right now, maybe you are part of the problem, and that's what I'm gonna say right now. Is that I'm sick of this shit. He's on our team. He's under contract. He's gonna be on our team for a couple years now, and I'm just sick of this shit. You guys can all shut the fuck up with your fucking putting down Pascal and go fuck off, is what I'm saying today. Oh, yeah. And if it sounds like that's talking to you, Flowery, well, then it is. Okay. And that's just the damn truth about it. And I am talking to you about it then. Oh, yeah. Tom Duke's saying we know we can win 4 straight versus the Sixers. Way easier than that 5-game business trip. That is way easier in some ways. I don't know. I mean, they may be pretty comparable, actually, Tom Duke. Winning 5 games against Western Conference teams on the road, 5 in a row like that was super impressive. But also, it's really hard to beat the same team 4 games in a row. I'm going to tell you that right now. And that may be part of why we're going to win for the game tomorrow, for sure. Is to beat a team 4 games in a row means you really have to be handling them really good. And it may be that that's not going to happen for Philadelphia, that they're going to get 4 in a row on us, because that is so hard to do. It is so hard to do. Very, very hard to do. All right, let's keep going. Family saying you trade for someone 9 times out of 10. They don't want to be here anyway. And we're not going to get the best of that player. Pascal loves the city, kills himself for this team. Yeah, I agree with this. Look at the DeRozan Leonard trade. We traded a real one that wanted to play for the Raptors for the rest of his career. And we did not take that lightly. That was a real huge gamble by Masai Ujiri, that he brought a guy who didn't fucking want to be here. And he traded a guy that was the most loyal for our team ever. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan is the most loyal Raptor ever in the history of this team. I'm sorry. We did him wrong, and he still loves us. Toronto is still his city, and he loves us, and he roots for us still, even though we did him so dirty. And then we brought in a mercenary for 1-year rental, and he got us a championship, and it worked out. But if he had not gotten us that championship, it would have been a huge failure for Masai Ujiri, that you just gave up somebody who's so dedicated to our team for someone who is not, who has no fucking loyalty to us. And family is exactly right. There is no guarantee when you trade someone frivolously from a team that is actually invested in wanting your team to win, you will not necessarily get that same kind of dedication back. And that is very important to think about when you're pulling all these triggers and stuff. So family saying Raptor fans are toxic. A lot of them started in 2019 and really don't know how hard it is to win. One team wins the championship a year. It's difficult. Our roster right now is not a championship roster. Yeah. I mean, listen, they're like, if you don't win it all, you're a failure. And this people heads have to roll and shit like this. It's so fucking short-sighted and stupid. That's not how you build a winning atmosphere, a winning culture, and winning over the long term. We're a rebuild in some to degrees with developing and stuff like that. And then we need to be patient and allow for our team to grow back into being a championship team again. And we're way closer than most teams are. That's the other thing we have to say is like we have a legitimate chance of getting a championship in the next 5 years. And some teams do not have any kind of legitimate championship for that. And we need to realize that and appreciate that. Yeah. Alistair's saying that NBA Chev is defending P. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm thanking Chev right now from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, NBA Chev, for standing up for Pascal Siakam as well, because I'm sick of this. There's no necessary reason for people to tear down Pascal right now. He is not failing. He has had a very successful year. And you know what? You with your fucking Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? Bullshit because of the playoffs and stuff like that. Have open eyes and understand exactly what fucking Pascal is up against right now in the games that he's playing right now. And the fact that he's being an all-around talent and contributing in other ways when he's not scoring is very important to look at also. His defense has been really great in this series. I'm not going to lie. All right, let's see. Tom Duke's saying he wasn't sure if I should have deleted that baby's remark. Kind of wanted to read his wine. I don't know what he said, but I appreciate Raymond. Because seriously, we're focused on Pascal today. I don't need Sixers fan to come in here, or even if he was a Pascal person. Actually, if there was a Pascal hater that wanted to say something about Pascal, let him open right now. Yeah, let them open right now because I will talk to them. But I don't want to talk to Sixers fan that's negative right now because this has nothing to do with their organization. This is an internal conflict that has to do with just Raptors Nation right now. He didn't make any sense. He was kind of stupid. Okay, cool. Cool. Awesome. All right. And Tom Duke's saying, you're not being negative. We were positive in reality. You know, listen, that's what I'm saying. It's like I will go off. I will use my sharp tongue and quick talking as a weapon to help the Raptors in this situation. That's what I'm doing. The family's saying you can tell he hates Pascal. And he's also saying he's a new fan who can't understand how hard it is to find players like Pascal and how hard it is to win. Go cry me a river, a little baby. It's basketball. We're all working towards one goal. Yeah. Yeah. You know, family, I want to give you a lot of credit right now. I know you've been watching my channel this whole season. And at the very beginning of the year, I said I thought they shouldn't start Scotty Barnes. And the reason why was because I thought he's a rookie and we had better players. Like I wanted Chem to start because I wanted to start a real center. And you told me, you're like, no, why do you want to do that to a young guy and take that away from him when he doesn't anything wrong? You were right. And I should have listened to you at that point. It was just me trying to say, well, I think it would help the team if we had actually a starting center. But I didn't realize that Scotty actually was a starting center. And I appreciate you. And I want you to know that I remember that you said that to me months and months ago. And I have to say that you were right. And I appreciate you saying that at that time. And that I'm glad it developed over the season that Scotty got to start every single game and that he got to do this because it's really helped his rookie of the year argument. And that if they had done what I was saying to do, he may not be in the one who's going to win the rookie of the year right now. So I appreciate that. This is something I've done all year. When you guys have come in here and you've said something that's contradictory to something I said and I've been wrong, I admit it. And I give you guys kudos. One of them was when Sue said we're playing Fred too much. And I say, I don't know. But then I was like, yeah, you know what? I didn't realize he's leading the whole league in minutes. And that, yeah, maybe we are playing Fred too much. Sue said that, and I agreed with her later. So that's what I want y'all to know. Is like I remember what y'all are saying. I have a really good memory. And I remember, family, when you told me to stop telling them that we shouldn't start Barnes. And I appreciate you for saying that. And you were right back then. Oh, my gosh, you were right. Let's see. Callie's saying we have a great future ahead. Once we win tomorrow, our chances go up. I really agree with this. They continue to go up. Like, that's the thing. Our percentage of possibly winning it all is just going to expand and get better and better as these guys get better together and older. And just like I keep saying in the last couple of days, each of them will go and individually work on their game this summer. And their gains as individuals all add up to an even higher ceiling for us. And that's the thing is that they do that every year. They come back with more, whether it's OG, whether it's Fred, whether it's Scotty. They're all going to come back with more to show next year and be even better. And that's what I'm saying. We're already this level. We're going to get even more higher level for sure. Pitto's saying the harder the fight, the greater the victory. Yes, Pitto. Oh, my gosh. You're doing some William Wallace right now. Maybe I need to say that tomorrow. The harder the fight, the greater the victory. William Wallace, man. Braveheart. Yeah, we'll do that. The family's saying exactly. When you lose, it makes winning so much sweeter and better. Oh, my gosh, it does. It really does. And that was what 2019 was in a lot of ways. And people got spoiled. They felt it. They were like, oh, there's 2 million of us in the street and we're having a big parade and party. And they want to feel that all over again. But they don't realize how difficult it is to continuously be a winning NBA team that is competing for Larry O'Brien's, and that we are that kind of team, and that we will be competing for them more and more. And it's just this year, it's like, look, if we're on a staircase, last year we didn't even make the playoffs. We had a whole wash of a season. Well, now we've gone up a step, and now we're in the playoffs. And even, whatever happens in this first round or whatever, it's still a huge success because we've leveled up from last year. And that's what we should be looking at. You guys shouldn't be comparing this team to 2019. You guys should not be comparing this team to even the bubble year, because this is a different team. Kyle Lowry is no longer here, and we have to start over to a degree with what we're doing. We don't have to completely start over because we do have a lot of the remnants from before. But when Kyle left, that is a new era. This is the Scotty Barnes era, and he's a rookie. This is his very first year. So we need to allow for the staircase and going up on the stairs each year with Scotty Barnes, with him carrying us now. And that's what we got to see what happens. Oh, yeah. Alistair's saying, tell Sixers fan to get a ring. Well, they do have some rings. Philadelphia won the very first ever NBA championship, y'all. Did you know that? That in 1946, Jumpin' Joe Folks led the Philadelphia Warriors to the first ever NBA championship. Just dropping some knowledge on y'all real quick. But technically that championship isn't theirs because it was the Warriors franchise that won it. It was the Philadelphia Warriors. So I'm not sure if that banner is actually in Oakland or it's in the Philadelphia building. I don't know who gets to take claim for that because it was technically the Warriors franchise, but they were in Philadelphia at that time. But yeah, they won their first championship then. But yeah, tell them to go get a ring, and then they'll have to search all the way back to Moses Malone, Dr. J in 1983. And that's the last time they got one. Family saying Pascal Siakam is an all-NBA player this year. Think about that. Are you going to get that back? Exactly. That means there's only 15 players that are get that moniker every year because there's 3 all-NBA teams. And are we going to get another top 15 player for Pascal? No, we're going to get fleeced. And that's why I'm saying to these people who want to make these trades and chase him out of town, we're not going to get the return you think. We're not going to get what you want from him. In fact, we're more likely to lose on that deal. And that's why I'm so glad we don't have frivolous people running this team like some of these fans that are frivolous and fucking so quick and like, no, we have very smart people that are thinking about it from 5 years out, 10 years out. They have 10-year plans. They said it. Masai said, we have a 10-year plan, y'all. And that's the thing. They're really planning ahead. These motherfuckers aren't even planning for tomorrow. They're just planning right now and how they feel in their emotions. That's why I don't want to listen to them. I ain't got no place for them. I'm sorry. All right, let's keep going. Pascal, Paul saying, Paul B, good to see you. Always good to see my good friend Paul B. Siakam just isn't a number 1 option. Scotty definitely is, though. So perhaps Siakam is just the ultimate number 2, and he's in the right place still. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it and stuff like that. Listen, it's not a demotion. It's just that we're running with the number 2 leading us right now. Well, maybe the number 1 will step up and take over. And I don't even necessarily say it is for sure Scotty. It could be Precious. So think about that. Or it could be even OG. Like OG may be even closer than we think. And some of the things he's showing us with this playoff and stuff like that. We're going to try it all out and see how we do it. But at least for this year, we ran everything through our main guy being Pascal. And it wasn't unsuccessful. It worked to a certain degree. It just may not have complete legs in the postseason. And that may be the difference in how this thing's going to go down. Because in some ways, when we look at what Scotty's showing in the early signs of his game as a rookie, is he does have dominant kind of offensive play that really kind of will translate to the playoffs well. It's just that he's going to have to be really ready to take some contact and take some super physicality and get hardened as a veteran. He's going to be taking his lumps like that ankle twist or an elbow to the face. But he needs to be ready to be really hard and strong to be able to go down low and take the hits and still finish. Because that's the kind of stuff Kawhi did when he was the number 1 the 1 year he played for us, is he took the hits and finished. And Scotty, by all observations from the outside in the beginning of his career, he looks like he'll be able to be that guy also. Take the hits and finish. And that's what we're talking about right now. And I think Paul's right. And listen, this is not a slight, and we shouldn't look down on him, and we shouldn't be like, oh, he's making the most money, he should be the number one. That's not how it works. Just like we pointed it out yesterday, Tobias Harris is a number 3, and he's making more money than Pascal. So we need to think about it all like with perspective of everything in the whole NBA landscape and how payroll and different salaries are for different players and what their roles are. There's some people that are getting paid way more money than what they're doing for their teams. And I want to say that our Raptors are not those kind of people. Everybody's getting paid fairly. Trust me. They're all getting paid fairly. Pascal deserves his money. I'm sorry. He just does. Killa Manjaro. I like that name. That's awesome. The Raptors surpassed their goals this year. They got to the playoffs with such a young team. They need a big going forward for next season. Pascal's doing his best. I love this. This is a great first comment, man. I love that you did this, and I hope you'll subscribe and come back every morning. We're here every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, live. I will be doing a live stream, even the off season. We're going to be talking Raptors all off season, right into the next season, and just scheming and talking positive Raptors fans because I'm sick of the negative fan base, and we're changing that. And I love how positive what you're saying is here, Killa. I mean, you're right. We surpassed our goals. We got in the playoffs with a young team that's getting experience, which is invaluable. Even if it's losing experience, it's still invaluable. And then also, yeah, we do need a big. Yeah, I feel like this is true, that we do need to figure out our bench way better this summer. That will be numero uno for us. It's not necessarily a center for sure, because we don't know what Bobby and Masai's team building ideas are for us exactly for a roster. But they definitely need to retool and get our bench better productive people that are going to come out and really contribute and give us options off the bench, different looks, and be capable of really producing and being counted on. Because that's the biggest thing that has been glaring to me this year, is that we have not had a bench that could come in and do dependable minutes and for the guys that are really dependent on in the core. There's a real drop off. It's like we got those top 7 or 8 guys, and then after that, the talent drop off and the productivity is really awful. And we need to get better, like all the way up to like 10 spot. And like we got to need a 1 through 10. Of our players that is really we can count on. And that's what I want to see this summer. And if it means bringing a real center that can do that kind of stuff for us, I'm all for it. I am not against getting a center. I was really talking about getting a center for a lot in the Tampa year because of Aaron Baines and all the bullshit. And then when we got Khem Birch, I was like, thank you. We finally got a center somewhat. But now in a lot of people's eyes, that's not even enough because he's not fully really a center in some ways. But in some ways, to me, Khem Birch is actually really a center. But I understand some people that want to say, well, let's go get a Nurkic. Like if we got Josip Nurkic from Portland, that would be a badass fit. But my favorite person for us to try and reacquire if we could, and it's not likely, and it sounds like Spurs fan really loves him and they don't want him going anywhere, is getting Pirtle back to us. Because I feel like Pirtle would be perfect because honestly, he's best friends with Pascal. He would help in all kinds of different ways, whether he's just being a big guy around to help with some muscle on guys. He's got this experience at this point where he is a true starting NBA center. And he's a real shot blocker and a really good rebounder. And he can do all the defensive stuff on big guys that we're talking about. Like he can guard Embiid. So that's who my dream pick. If we could get somebody tomorrow is get Pirtle back on the team. But I will take somebody like Nurkic. If that is how it all goes down this summer and we end up with Nurkic on our roster next year, that would be really intriguing and interesting. And he may not necessarily start. He may be somebody who comes and starts spot duty here and there. I mean, Portland kind of did that with him already in the last couple of years too. So family saying, you're right. And $37 million a year is the average rate for a second option in the NBA. It's all love and Raps Nation. Yeah. I mean, I don't like getting bogged down in the money stuff and like really that kind of thing. But if you're saying that that's like an average salary for a second option, there you go. We're already setting up the slots. Because if you think about it, our Supermax slot was open for Giannis and the Giannis sweepstake. And we didn't get it. That he went back to the Bucks, and that's just what happened. But the Giannis sweepstakes, that would have been our opened it up because we were going to still keep Pascal. And if we'd had Antetokounmpo with Pascal, well, that's obviously who the number one would be, with Pascal being second banana to him. And that could have been the plan that we wanted if Giannis did not sign the Supermax back with Milwaukee. And that's part of what, yeah, we got to look at. And I love this. I love family. You're really hitting home runs today, honestly. Also, the family saying when I was younger, I played hockey my whole life. I started playing with the same kids at 8 years old. By the time we were 14, we were murdering everyone out there. It takes time if you want to win with. Wow, man, I would love to see those Pee Wee hockey games that the family was playing in, where they started and they weren't that good, but over the time they stayed together, they stayed a core, they gelled, and boom, they were just killing everyone. That's what I'm saying. Too quickly, we like to change our underwear in the NBA. It's like, oh, well, this isn't working out after 2 years. We got to change these players. No, you got to invest a lot of time. Like, you want cores to be together like 5 or 6 years, because then they really mature and really realize all of their gelling and all the way that they can synergize and really know each other like the back of the hand. They really know each other inside out. Like, they really know each other. And we need to allow that kind of relationship to grow among our players, that they all really know each other more. Like, there's a synergy between Pascal, OG, and Fred that's much deeper and better than Pascal and Scotty yet. But there's already huge signs that Scotty and Pascal's synergy could be very fruitful and amazing. And that's what I'm saying. They're already playing a really good two-man game with give and go kind of stuff. Just imagine with some more time accrued and really knowing their sweet spots and where they like to get the ball and where they like to do this and figuring all that out and having more time together. Oh my gosh, that's what I'm saying. People want quick fixes. They change their underwear too quickly. You need to wear that dirty piece of underwear for a few years and really let it, get that time together is what I'm saying. I know maybe not the best example, but anyway. Callie's saying Sixers think they have us beat. Let's take advantage of that mentality. Yeah, if they're overconfident a little bit, well, let's smack them in the mouth one more time tomorrow and see if we get the win. And then boom, it's a whole new series because we've got at least a win. And then we got to go to Philadelphia and prove we can do it on their court. That's what I'm saying. Family saying players you grow up with, do it together, learn together, lose together, win together. That's right. It's right. This is the reason why you want people like maybe Julian Champagny on this team. Because Julian Champagny's played with Justin Champagny his whole life. There's a whole accrued knowledge of, well, my brother likes to do this and my brother likes to do this. And then you want that kind of synergy, that twin synergy, like the Sedins had for Vancouver Canucks for so many years. That's what I'm saying. It's like you have time accrued together. That is a strength. And that's why I like keeping as many of our core guys that have been here the longest a long time. And that means you don't get rid of Pascal for sure. All right, Raymond's got another wrench thrown. I love it. I love it. Keep throwing wrenches, Raymond. You got 2 today. Let's see. Paul B saying, but we need that number 1 option for the playoffs. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Yeah, and we may have it. It's just that he's too young and he hasn't grown into it yet. I think he will, though. I think he will. And we don't want to put him on a timetable for too quick either. Let's allow him at least 2 or 3 years to really grow into it because he's on his rookie contract and stuff like that. But who knows? If we could be pleasantly surprised and he starts showing that number 1 option superstar role way earlier than we think. That like this year was just a primer, and that next year maybe we do run our offense through Scotty a lot more than we did this year. Because we really didn't use him in our offense as the focal point in a lot of ways. He was just a garbage man. He was kind of just there to clean things up in a lot of ways. And we could more directly do that next year, and we'll see how that happens. And that could be testing him out as the number 1 and stuff like that. So I'm very here for it. I think it's exciting. I think it's going to be fun to explore. And as fans, we should enjoy it and just see it and be like, oh my gosh. It's kind of like how we felt in different moments with Precious this year, where all of a sudden Precious just shows a flash of something so unknown that we didn't know was going to happen. Well, just expect that more for this team with different players next year even too. So yeah, Kilimanjaro just sub. Appreciate it. I'm trying to get 1,000. Every time somebody hits that red subscribe button, it really helps me. And I appreciate it, man. And like I said, I'm here every morning. Come in as often as you want or watch me later, catch me later and stuff like that. Every single day. This is the Positive Raptor Fan channel. We're going to keep it positive and trying to build positive, good things for the team in all kinds of ways, whether it's fighting the negative toxicity in our own fan base or just talking trash with Sixers fans who come in here Today's not a day to talk trash with them, but we have been talking trash with them this week, and it's been fun. Callie's saying, I think Delano will be awesome going forward. Yeah, this is a name we don't talk about enough, honestly. We need to talk more about Delano. But also, we have to temper expectations also, again, because he is a second-round pick. He has shown all kinds of things, but we need to allow him to be himself and to succeed and fail as he's supposed to. And I really feel like he's going to be very versatile, interesting player as he gets older and stronger in different ways. It's like Callie said, he's a gazelle like Pascal. He really is. He can really move. And, being a point guard and being that tall is really a real luxury and a real strength. And it's going to be very interesting to see his growth pattern too. I'm not even talking about him in this whole thing. And he could end up being a really important role player for the Raptors over the years and stuff like that. Yeah. Kilimanjaro saying Precious is going to be crazy next season. He just keeps getting better. I know, it's insane. Like, Miami, what the fuck were you doing with him in this rookie season? Like, this is the kind of player that you do not let go in any kind of way. I'm sorry, you do not trade this man. This is somebody that's untradeable, but you did. And Masai, you are a badass. This, once again, I gotta trust in Masai, yeah, because this guy is a gangster. This is a boss move that he did. Like, he did so much good last offseason, whether it's just signing the contract long-term with the Raptors, thank you. And then, the way that they did the Lowry deal, where it worked out for Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster, Toronto Raptors team, worked out for Precious, and it worked out for Kyle. We took care of all the people that we cared about in this deal, and it worked out for everybody. Kyle got what he wanted, we got what we wanted, and we got Precious, and this is all super gravy and awesome. Because, seriously, this dude looks like this is weird because they said early in his college career that he could be as good as Giannis. And then there was some other time where they were like, no, he won't be as good as Giannis. He's limited in this way. He's limited in this way. And then I think that's what got bogged down in Miami. And then Spo wasn't even playing him. He wasn't even a part of the rotation half of the year. He wouldn't even get into games. And now we see the blossoming and some of the things, like Nick Nurse is saying, you can do whatever the fuck you want here. And it's been such a great atmosphere for Precious to just grow and develop and become expansive with the idea of what his game could possibly be. So there's a lot of credit to Nick Nurse and the coaching staff allowing him to do whatever the fuck he wants. Because other coaches may not have been like, you can shoot threes, Precious. No, don't shoot the threes. We don't want you shooting threes. Well, look at what happens when you do allow for something that you may think is not good. Is all of a sudden, wow, you found a hidden bonus. You found a whole other thing. It's like Gary with the steals this year. It's like, you could do this, Gary. And now all of a sudden, Gary's value's gone up and he's a better NBA player. It's the same thing with Precious right now. And it is scary how good Precious could be. Because the way he's going around Joel Embiid in this series right now is really impressive. When he puts the ball on the dribble and he goes around his defender and he jams it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is going to be badass. And we have no idea how good he's going to be. It's going to be so good. Chris comes saying, shit, Raps just ain't been the team we've known all year. I'm not going to bash our two best players, but no question they need to take accountability and step up. They are. This is the thing. It's it's not up to us to bash them and do that kind of stuff. They bash themselves to themselves. You don't think that Fred's taking this really hard? He is Kyle Lowry now. So he is the figurehead captain of this team. And the team, he wants to steer the team towards winning and just being successful. And if it doesn't happen that way, then he's the guy who's holding the ship's wheel. And he's the one who didn't guide them to the right place. And he takes that very seriously. Trust me. There's other leaders on other teams that are just like, well, it's the offseason. I don't give a shit. But if he loses and he goes out and he doesn't do well, he's taking it to heart and he's figuring out how to change it the next time. And then we have to realize that he's in the Kyle Lowry role this year for the first time ever. And this is his first chance and first shot at it. And he may not be perfect or at the level where Kyle was with guiding the ship like that. And then we have to allow him to grow into that role, just like any player grows into being a player, is that you have to grow into being the cap and grow into being that leader and leading the team right. And it's the same thing for Pascal. He's taken this so hard. You don't think that he's hearing some of the noise in the last couple of days and that he has a motivation inside him to prove everybody wrong? That is that motivation and fire that fueled him for all of last year when he was hurt, and that he needed to battle back and to build his game and to come back and do what he did this season. And that's the same thing. It's going to keep happening. It's not like he's just going to give up. And he's like, oh, I'm a waste. I'm a failure because half of the Raptors fan nation saying that to me. And he's not going to do that. He's going to be like, I want to be better. I want to do better. I want to win. I'm going to do all that I can to win, whether it means bleeding down the side of my head, stuff like that. He's going to do it. And they are going to take accountability. Trust me, Kristen. They're going to take accountability in their own world, in their own personal life, and they're going to try their damnedest. And it may be that they're just not going to be able to get over that hump at some point, but I believe in them, and I think they will and stuff like that. Some people have been saying, like, they're 28, it's all downhill from here. You are fucking stupid. Anybody who thinks that they're on the decline after this season and that the money invested in them is just not going to be getting back the same return because they're declining, they're not declining. First of all, there's a difference between a player like Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan and a player like Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook really depends on his athleticism. And now that he doesn't have his athleticism, we see a decline in him at his age right now. Meanwhile, people like Kyle and DeMar are learning the cerebral part of the game, the thinking man's part of the game, and they become better players because they're savvier vets. They're smarter. They're older and wiser. Do you think Fred and Pascal are not going to develop that kind of older, wiser vet in this league and expand and continue to get better at winning games in that kind of way? That it may be, sure, you have an athletic prime at a certain age, but that doesn't go away that quickly. It's not like they're turning at 28 and now they're expiring like milk, where it's like, oh, past due date. Oh my gosh. No, these guys are top level athletes that will get better because they're working on their game. First of all, they care about getting better. And the way they get better as you get older is you get savvier. You get smarter and you make veteran plays and you figure out how to win against less experienced NBA players. And that's what I'm talking about. So there's no like, oh, they're at 28 and now there's none of that. They're going to continue to go just like that. Trust me, they will. Oh, yeah, they will. Family saying, oh, geez. OG stays healthy, he can be our number one option. Yeah, okay, he said, oh, geez. Yeah, I know what you're saying. OG, yeah, he missed half the season this year, and we did so well. Just imagine a full year next year of all of our guys being healthy the whole year and just what kind of fucking record and seed we end up with at the end of the year. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about running the East next year, baby. I'm talking about Toronto being at the top of the standings and the number one spot on the top of the Atlantic Division for the whole fucking year. I'm talking about that. Yeah. We get a good run with health and everything. Boom. Look, the only reason why our season was screwed up this year with our record is the first month of the season. We didn't have Pascal and we were below 500 team. So we already had a hole we had to dig out of at the beginning of the year to get to where we were. Just think about it that way and how close we were actually to Miami, which was number one at the top. That if we had been fully healthy from the beginning of the season and on all cylinders, none of these injuries with OG all year, think about all the amount of games that we would have won and that we would have possibly been the number one team in the Eastern Conference this year. Is what I'm saying. I know that's all woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I'm also saying with injury games missed, think about it that way. And I know other teams will do the same thing. Well, what if Kevin Durant didn't get hurt? What would the Nets be? And all this. I know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I'm saying our potential is there if we're healthy and that we could be the number one team in the East next year, run the table and get all the way to first seed for the playoffs next year is what I'm saying. Oh, yeah. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, family's saying, I think Precious is going to be dominant when he gets full confidence. I do too. Like, this is going to be all right for Precious. The test this offseason is let's see how good he shoots free throws next year. Because if he's one of these guys that tinkers with his game and improves whatever he can on his game, the first thing he needs to improve for next year is his free throw shooting. So next season, let's see what percentage he shoots for his free throws. And that will be a tell to us about the kind of player he is, about how motivated he is to get better. That if he comes back next year and he's a much better free throw shooter, all right, this is the kind of guy you want to invest in because he's working on his game and getting better. And that's an easy one for him to do. He just really needs to figure out his MO for when he gets up there, his little, like, Pascal wipes his face and does a little spin and shoots. You have to have a routine. And I don't feel like Precious has one. He gets up there and he just stands there and he just chucks it. And that's a really big, easy way we can fix with him, with the coaches and stuff like that. So, Paul B, you're hilarious. So should we trade for Anthony Davis? He's laughing out loud. No. No. Why do all these people want Anthony Davis? It's so fucking stupid. Kilimanjaro's, oh, this is a really good point and something we need to bring up. Fred is also not 100% with his leg problems. People just need to face reality. Fred might need knee surgery right now. We don't even fucking know it. It's like we might go out in the playoffs and the next day he's going to take the knife and get a knee surgery done on him. That's what I'm saying. This man's not 100% right now and he's playing on a hurt knee. And that this is a factor into how he's playing right now. And that if he gets his knee fixed this offseason and comes back next year and he feels really good next year, he could have a way different season than he did this year, is what we got to realize, that there's a lot of places that we could have done better. And that things were hampering us during the season also. Lion Hunters here again. A nice, great new viewer, always here recently. This was awesome. Every year the Raptors have been swept. They made the Final Four at the very least the following year. Just putting it out there. That's interesting stat. That's very interesting stat. I don't think we're going to get swept. I hope to God we don't. Knock on wood. We got to win tomorrow. This is very important to stop that. But that's an interesting thing to say. Like, we get motivated from our failures. We get motivated from not doing well enough. And then we come back even stronger. We kick some ass, is what I'm saying. Tom Duke's saying maybe Precious is Batman, or there are two Batmans. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah, who knows? I'd love to have two Batmans. We could have two Batmans and two Robins, to have a set of them, two sets of them. There is the possibility of that on this team, which is crazy. Like, OG could be another Robin. We could have Pascal and OG are Robins, and Precious and Scotty are Batmans. You know, look at that. Like, seriously, we have so much wealth of potential and things that could happen with our team that we are truly rich. That there's so much on this team that is badass and has the possibility to just become something really special. And that we need to realize that. Tom Duke's giving you a nice one, Lion. Let's go. Legion's here. Legion is a new name. Good to see a new name here every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Pascal was great when he was the number 2 option. After seeing him play the series, he can't be number 1. Ain't nothing wrong with being number 2, like McCollum, Middleton, and Clay. Yeah, this is the thing. And this is not slighting him in some ways either. It's like just understanding the true limits and potential and what the real role of the player should be in the team. And I think this is pretty much a consensus among a lot of Raptor fans. The toxic ones are for sure going to say this, and even the positive ones like us are going to will relent this. We'll say maybe he isn't the best number 1 option for a team, and that he's a much better complement like he was in 2019. And I can get behind this. And that's a, this is a good way of looking at it. Like, there's nothing wrong with being McCollum. There's nothing wrong with being Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton's an all-star. He gets a lot of accolades and stuff. And Klay Thompson's one of the greatest shooters ever in the history of the game. So Pascal can get all these things, but being the absolute number 1 big-time superstar, it may not be something that he grows into or becomes. But I'm not going to count him out either. Because this is the thing. He could come back with a different kind of attitude. He goes to Rico Hines. He works with Earl Watson all summer. He comes back with some sort of new wrinkle. Maybe like what we've been saying, Nick Nurse finally fucking puts together a playbook that actually props him up and sets him up for success in our offensive schemes, instead of just making him work off his athletic ability to try and win in isolation one-on-one. That's what I'm saying. Set him up to succeed by giving him a playbook with screens and different ways, a give and go or something like that. That's what I'm talking about. A family saying Raptors fans that are crying about Pascal or Fred are front and center, ready to give him the max contract after 2019. 28 is a start of a prime. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't understand why people think that is downhill after 28. Usually the prime is from like 28 to 34 or something like that. And that's a really good window that's just about to start for our guys. If you think about it, they have the veteran know-how more and more, and they still have great physical skills. These dudes are going to be better and better. Like Pascal was carving up defenses this year. Like the way that he was scoring and being unstoppable, there were times this year where he was doing Jordan-esque kind of shit to me. And that's the thing. You don't throw that out just because it's not translating into the playoffs. It could be a certain amount of the physicality that we can't deal with right now because of the team we're playing with such a huge guy like Embiid and stuff like that. And that we will need to retool and readjust. It was a similar kind of thing throughout the 2010s when we butt up against LeBron every year in the playoffs and lose. We tinker and figure out, well, how can we get better in this way and this way? I feel like we have way more potential to get better than any of those years when we lose to LeBron with DeMar Star and Kyle, that we have so many good potential projects that are growing within our system right now that we're going to get better faster. And we're going to do it really, like, it's going to happen for sure. It's almost like we have sure bets on our team. We know Precious is a sure bet. We know Scotty Barnes is a sure bet. That's what I'm saying. Avoiding cataclysm or disaster of any kind of stupid way. That these guys are going to be very special and they're going to be very good. We know they are. Paul B saying, remember Scotty taking Batum full court for the easy layup? Yeah. Or Precious bringing the ball up the court and going all the way to the basket, or taking a transition three, stuff like that. For sure. So many good memories. Paul's been like the memory man. I think that I'm going to need you on Mondays. When we do the Monday memories, Paul, we're going to be talking a lot about this season in the Monday memories, because I want to refresh people's memories about all the golden, beautiful things that happened in the season this past year and stuff like that. They're going to be really fun. So watch for the Monday segment, Monday Memories, where we take a date in Raptor history and we go over and talk about what happened that day. And we're going to celebrate achievements of the Raptors on Monday. That's what's going to happen. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. See, Paul's got another one. Remember when Van Vliet had 20 points in 4 minutes versus the Jazz? Yes. This is incredible stuff. Remember, Fred got our highest score total in franchise history against Orlando in the Tampa year. He outscored DeMar DeRozan and did that. He just broke Kyle Lowry's record for most threes in an NBA season. These guys deserve our respect, and they don't deserve to be run out of town by the fans. I'm sorry. Family's saying James Harden is 33, and they're about to give him 200 million plus. Our boys are 27 and 28. Yeah, I mean, James, that seems like a lot of money for what he does at this point. That's way too much money. And Alistair's saying we're too talented to lose this series. Can't wait. Yeah, I agree with that too. We got to give them a win. We got to get a win tomorrow and just build from that and stuff like that. All right, I pretty much did my freak out for today. I did a little longer than I thought I would, but I appreciate everybody being in here and stuff like that. First of all, listen, I'm not trying to attack anyone for putting them down. I am and I'm not. I agree that there should be a constructive criticism of our players, our coaching staff, our organization, and stuff like that. But there's a line where you can go cross it that is just stupid because it's not helpful. It's good to be constructive criticism of, well, maybe he's not the number one option, or maybe we need to do this to help him. But it's always a way that you're trying to see where that things could get better instead of just ripping things down and just being negative just in general or playing the blame game. Because there's no reason to do that this year. This has been a huge, successful Raptors season, and there's no blame to go around. I'm sorry. As much as you guys want to blame people for losing games this week, there's no reason to do that, and that it's just unnecessary. And that's why what I'm saying. Let's see. Kilimanjaro saying, this is off topic. Do you think the Raptors will give Jalen Harris another shot? He is was a pretty good fit for this team. This is something that Paul B's brought up from time to time for some reason. He keeps bringing up Jalen Harris's name too. The thing that happened with Jalen Harris is it's kind of like a one and done kind of shot thing. It's like he really fucked up what he did. And I noticed what he did too. It's crazy. Like he had that really good game at the end of last season where he scored a lot of points, and they did the after game, post game interview with him, and he was fucked up during the interview. I'm going to tell you that right now. He was noticeably intoxicated. And that's the thing to me that's kind of a red flag and it's kind of fucked up is that you just won the game. You just been in the locker room. You were just playing, and now you're in your interview, and you're obviously very intoxicated. And that to me was like, when the fuck did he get intoxicated? Was he drunk the whole game, or was he fucked up just in that little bit of time between finishing the game and doing the interview? And that's the thing. He has a substance abuse problem, and that's why he had to go away. And that's why he got suspended, and he got banned from playing in the NBA this past season. And I understand why people are like, well, why don't we bring him back and all this kind of stuff? Well, because in some ways, you know what? He wasn't that good. You guys, I know you guys think he was that good, but he wasn't that good. In fact, I think David Johnson's better than him. Malachi Flynn's definitely better than him. And that's the thing. He's not going to be much better than those guys. Then he really is going to just waste our time. And that he got his shot. And he saw that in the big time and those kind of things, he got fucked up, and it was egregiously fucked up to the point where he got substance banned from the league for a year. So it sucks. It sucks in some ways because you hate to see somebody squander a chance or that kind of thing. And he really did. I don't think there are any plans to bring him back. But if I'm wrong and he all of a sudden shows up in our training camp or summer league this summer hey, give him a chance. I'm all for second chances. But for me, I don't think this is very likely just because of the way it happened and that we really have so many good players that are kind of like him already and that he may not be necessary and stuff like that. It's like Paul B says he fucking loves Jalen Harris. He was the type of the makeup for the failed Terrence Davis hype, but then he became one himself. Yeah. Yeah, but if you can drop 30 with a smooth jump shot like that, I want that on our team. Well, there's a lot of players that can do this in the world. And that's like maybe we can find a taller player that can do that. That's what I'm saying. We need guys like that and stuff like that. Family saying Pascal can be a number one option. Patience, patience, patience. I believe that too. I want to give him the opportunity and the chance still. And then, it may just naturally develop that somebody else overtakes him and becomes that person over him already. And like I said, I don't think that's going to be a big problem. Now, if Pascal has an ego problem because of that, all of a sudden, then I'll be like, well, maybe Pascal is a problem on this team at that point. But I don't think that's the way he is. I think that he's very perfectly fine. And it's not that he doesn't want the whole responsibility either. It's just that, yeah, he'd love help. Anybody would love help when things are hard and difficult to do. And if Scotty's going to step up and be number one and be Batman and he can be Robin, then, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Kilimanjaro saying he's been watching him play in Europe. Says he's been killing it over there. Like if he's been killing it and he's doing certain things, like if he's showing growth and, showing that he's a real killer and he wants to fight his way back in. Hey, those redemption stories are great too. But like I said, he was so fucked up in that interview. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with him right now? Like, why is he slurring his speech so bad and acting like that? And it really was a big, huge red flag for me. And then like a month later, I heard that he had been suspended by the NBA and that he was kicked out. And I was like, whoa, this is really bad and weird. It's too bad for him kind of thing. Yeah. Paul B saying, how can we get Jordan Clarkson from the Jazz? I don't know. Here we go, Paul. This is what you do. You go to their fan base and you start really toxic talk about how he's not doing good enough for the Jazz and that they need to trade him to Toronto. That's what you do, Paul. That's the book that's being played on our fucking ass right now. Is that you go to Jazz fan places and you start talking about how you act like you're a Jazz fan and say, oh, I think Jordan Clarkson is garbage. We should trade him. And that's how you get it done, Paul. There you go. That's how you do it. Because the motherfuckers are trying to do that shit to us right now. They're trying to fleece us for people like Pascal and Fred and things like that. Yeah, Paul B saying, I hear the Lakers want Jordan and OG. Of course they want OG. OG's one that I really worry about, honestly, because he's under clutch management and stuff like that. But I don't think so. I don't think so. We got these guys under contract. We want to keep them. But yeah, I don't want to talk about this too much. I hate the idea of fucking OG Anunoby on LA Lakers. I really do. I hate that just even the thought of it crossing my mind right now is pissing me off, Paul. Yeah. All right, Kilimanjaro, you're out. I'm out too, guys. Let's go, Raptors Nation. Continue to be supportive, positive Raptor fans and fight the good fight wherever it is. Like what you see this kind of people question them and say, are you actually a Raptor fan? Are you a fan of another team that's coming in here trying to cause dissension for our fan base and possibly trying to pry our coach over to the LA Lakers or something like that? That's what you need to look with open eyes. And I understand that there's nefarious things done by people on social media these days because there's a real war of information and perception out there. And whether it has to do with left-right politics, whether it has to do with Ukraine war, whether it has to do with NBA stuff, this is all happening in all arenas. And we all need to be aware of this. And that some of these people that are commenting on Twitter and on Facebook and different things, they may be bots. They may not even be real people that are just out there fighting a perception war for somebody who out there who paid a lot of money to have a farm doing this kind of stuff because they want certain things to happen, whether it's Putin with how he wants to discredit Ukraine in this kind of way or whatever, or whether it's this person for political reasons, whether it's a Laker nation wanting us to turn on our coach so that he's available all of a sudden for them and have as their coach. All right, let's go, Raptors. Tomorrow preview, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. I will be here sharp. Let's go, Raptors.